Welcome to Echo's Reloading Chamber. Today's series is going to be on wrenches used to remove castle nuts and receiver extension tubes. Basically, in front of us here, we have a set of tools that I have been using for quite a few years now to build AR-15 rifles. Today's series is going to cover the wrenches used to put on receiver extension tubes, aka buffer tubes, whether that be a rifle length receiver extension tube or a carbine extension tube with a 5 or 6 position adjustable stock. Starting on the far left here, we have a Magpul Armorer's wrench. And what the cool thing about this wrench is it kind of does it all. You've got on here on the tail end of this wrench, on the inside, you have your sprocket teeth for removing a traditional new style generation castle nut. And you have a opening here for tightening and removing a rifle length extension tube. So for your longer full length rifle tubes, this wrench will also work on that. Plus it comes with a 1/2 inch torque wrench setting hole so that you can just simply slide your torque wrench in here and torque your castle nut down to 35 to 40 foot-pounds of torque as per spec. It's a good wrench. That I've had for a little over a couple years now. When they first came out, I picked one up and I've been very impressed. This wrench itself here is a little thinner, able to sneak in on castle nuts that are a little bit tied up because people have put sling extensions and stuff like that behind the castle nut. So basically, this is my thin guy, used to go in and sneak in there behind things that people have mounted on their extension tube. So that's what I use for that. And also on here, you'll notice there are no entries for a torque wrench or to adjust rifle length extension tubes. This little guy right here, this one here is sold at Brownells. And the difference on this one is this tooth can be replaced. You've got multiple teeth that come with it from Brownells. And it basically, you go on the other side of it here. It's got a set screw. You loosen it up, pull the tooth out, pull whatever tooth you need, depending on which castle nut you're trying to remove or install. Slide it in, tighten it back up, give it a turn, and you're ready to tighten. Or actually, you'd grab it here and go like this to tighten. You would grab it underneath, go this way to loosen. This also has a rifle length extension tube opening in it for removing and tightening rifle length extension tubes. And it's got a 1/2 inch drive torque nut or torque drive setting so that you can simply engage your torque drive right onto this. This right here is another Brownells. I got this tool to do my heavy lifting. This was, up until the Magpul wrench coming out, was one of the thickest wrenches you could get on the market and engage all 4 different positions here, as you can see. Spots of engagement on your castle nut, which made it really strong. And it also has an opening for doing a rifle length extension tube and putting your torque wrench in as well. This last little wrench is an inexpensive, practical wrench for someone looking to just put together 1 or 2 rifles. It's very thin. It does have the opening for the rifle length extension tube, but does not have a setting opening for a torque wrench. Probably because it's very thin and you put 40, 60 pounds of torque on this wrench for extended periods of time and it's going to fail. It's got 3 sets of engagement teeth and will work for a light builder or someone that's building less than, I would say, 15 rifles in their life. So if you just want a cheap tool to throw on a castle nut or an extension tube, this will do it for a reasonable price. So you don't have to put in a lot of money to get that. And that one there is available at Brownell's too. I do a lot of business with Pete Brownell because he's got a lifetime warranty on his tools, and that means a lot to a guy that builds tools for a living and is constantly using them. In case you happen to break one, shear something off, you're covered like Snap-on. You're covered like Craftsman, the way they used to do their tools. Not today. Craftsman's made in China nowadays. So if you're going to get American-made stuff with a good warranty, you have to buy from an American company that is made here in the U.S. Brownell's is that company. And this concludes the part of this story on castle nut and receiver extension tube wrenches. There'll be more parts to this. Follow along. Please give me a thumbs up. And leave a comment if you have any questions. I'd love to answer any questions to help anybody out that's building a rifle or interested in building their first rifle. So take care and have a great one.